Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Wednesday, and all of our guests today brought to you by our friends at Pastime Sports and Games. More on them in a bit. Meantime, we're joined now by Baseball Hall of Famer, the pride of Maple Ridge, Larry Walker, in the wake of the Blue Jays' convincing Game 4 World Series victory last night down in Los Angeles, 6-2 the final. Larry, thanks for doing this, sir. Long time no talk to. How are you?
Well, all's great. And, pretty gutsy performance by the Blue Jays last night, bouncing back after that 18-inning defeat.
Yeah, and without George Springer last night, facing Shohei Ohtani. What's impressed you the most about the Blue Jays, Larry?
Well, you touched on that right there. You know, a lot of teams, when they lose one of their superstars or one of their best players, it's crazy how people can kind of write them off, when usually it's the opposite, because the rest of the team understands what they're losing. And for some reason, everybody picks up their game a little notch and they rise to the occasion. And, you know, when that game started, you see George isn't leading off, but what everybody else did along the way, and some great pitching performances by the team. That's how teams, and that's a big positive for them on how they are in the clubhouse and how their egos don't get in their way and they can play together, as that four-letter word is, a team.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea, Larry, what John Schneider means to this team? Of course, he used to manage the Vancouver Canadians.
Well, like I say, it seems like he's loved by everyone, and when you got a manager that you can enjoy being around, and he pulls everyone together, and there's no dissension in the clubhouse, on the bench, or, you know, a lot of teams you see stuff happening on the bench right for the public eye and the cameras to see, but the Blue Jays seem to have it all under control and just riding this high.
Hey, Larry, I know he was probably disappointed in his performance, but just overall, are you as impressed with Shohei Ohtani as everybody else seems to be? I mean, people are putting him in the Babe Ruth category.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a category above Babe Ruth, but they could literally put him in that if they wanted to. It is pretty amazing. I did notice last night, and this is normal, but he seemed like he was breathing a little harder last night, considering, you know, 9 times on base the night before, and then got to go out there and pitch, and you know, just for him to run off the mound, and he doesn't even go in the dugout. He puts all his gear on right there before he even goes the on deck circles. It's just mind-boggling. There's really there's no rest for the guy, and he seems endless, full of energy, and just keeps on trucking ahead. But what he's doing and what he's done is, it's pretty crazy. I don't know if we'll ever see this again.
Larry, you know, so many people predicted a sweep for the Dodgers, and the series tied at 2-2. What did you think before this series started? Were you like everybody else and thought the Dodgers might have an easy time?
Well, fortunately, this game is not played on paper.
Yep.
So the Dodgers look like a much more dominant team on paper. You're damn right they do. But, there's a thing called heart and desire. And you take that out there and that will to win, you know, that's an equalizer. So these guys have all that, and they take the field not thinking anything different. And I tell you, big game tonight. This is a pivotal one. That 3-2 lead going back to Toronto is going to look a lot nicer than down 3-2. So got the pom-poms out tonight for the home country.
Oh, big time! You know, when you see the salaries, the Dodgers, I think their salary total is $240. And there's teams at 80, 90. Is that good for baseball, Larry, when these guys spend that much money more than other teams?
Well, you know, I probably get in trouble for saying certain things, and I usually don't say certain things. I usually just keep my mouth shut. It seems to be easier. But, yeah, I think any one of my children can manage that team. It's pretty simple. The talent they have, you can just anybody, anywhere, and away they go, you know. Not a knock against Dave Roberts, but he's got a pretty simple job when he makes that lineup out. And is it good for baseball? Probably not. You know, it really defeats all these other teams that are trying to survive, all these small market teams that just don't have a chance, really, you know. And some of these teams have great fan bases, too, that want their team to win. But when you're going up against powerhouses, and I don't know, is saying the team that kind of bought their way to where they at right now is the right thing to say. I don't know, but it sure looks like that. So it'd be nice if things can get under control a little bit more and you have more of an equal playing field.
Game 5 tonight. Let's switch gears if you don't mind, Larry. I know it hasn't been out all that long. I think it started airing this week. But have you watched the documentary, Who Killed Your Old Team? Who Killed the Montreal Expos?
Yeah, I did watch it. I'm in a fishing tournament with some buddies, and we sat on his boat. And I watched it when it came out. I think the night after it came out, and yeah, I was asked quite a bit before it came out. Who do you think is responsible? And I guess I'm not sure if that was answered or not. I think everybody can have their own assumptions on who was responsible, but it was nice to throw it out there so people could see more of who maybe Jeffrey Loria was and what his team brought to the table or didn't bring to the table.
Yeah.
And who was there? Everybody could have their own individual assumption of what happened and what went down. But I think that at least opened that, because so many eyes were on Club to show that he was the victim in everybody's eyes before anybody even knew anything.
Yeah, he was more front and center. I asked if you watched it. Heck, you were in it. Hey, can you see Major League Baseball returning to Montreal one day, Larry?
Well, you know what? You sure hope so, because when you see some teams that are in the major leagues now, and their fan base and the ballparks and everything. I know Oakland and Tampa have always been talked about, and I'm still not convinced Oakland's actually going to build a ballpark in Vegas. I'm not sure if that's going on or what's going on, but obviously Montreal would have to have the resources to build a new ballpark downtown. That you can't play out the Big O. That's a disaster. So if they can get something in town, and there's no reason why they couldn't. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, for people who don't know, other than fishing, what are you up to these days?
Well, the reason you're not seeing my face live in action right now on this interview is I've had 3 surgeries on my right eye in the last 3 months, as I've had a detached retina twice here in the last 3 weeks. So I've had basically no eyesight in my right eye since July 11th, and right now I've got about maybe 10 to 15% eyesight, with it being this way, continue to be this way for about another 6 months to possibly 2 years. It's a waiting game.
Is that baseball related, Larry?
No, just as I find out more about detached retinas, it can be from a head blow of some sort that's caused it, from some people that I've talked to. But I guess as we age, the viscerous liquid, I think it's called, that's in your eye, kind of goes away, and when that goes away, the retina possibly dries up, I guess, and loses its size, and then detaches from the back of your eye. So I had the surgery to fix that. Then I then had to go 3 months with this silicone oil in my eye, and that made the cataracts appear. And so got the oil removed, the cataracts removed, and I think the doctor screwed up my surgery. I don't know for sure, but that's my gut feeling, and the retina's detached again. So I had it done again by another doctor 2 weeks ago. So the eye is still not fully open right now, still swollen about halfway. So I kind of look kind of creepy. And with Halloween coming up, I decided not to show my face.
Okay, well, we're going to end this interview now, Larry, but after this is over, we'll contact you and get the name of that first doctor, and we'll stay away from him. You don't have to tell us about you don't have to tell us about aging, and we trust me. Best of luck with your health, and thanks so much for doing this, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.